live in action. I think I need to share my screen here. Maddie, can you stop sharing here? Okay, there you go. Okay, let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay, Maddie, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
You can see it. I assume everybody can see that as well. Okay, so what you see here, what you're going to see is one use case, and in interest of time, we are just going to cover one use case, but there are plenty of other things that we can show as well, which if anybody is required to see that, we're happy to set up a long detailed product demonstration as well. So what you see here, everything is on ServiceNow. This is the contract manager dashboard where when the contract manager logs in, he or she, in this case, Lisa, is a contract manager logging in, and this is the dashboard that she sees. First and foremost, most interesting that she wants to find out is when are the contracts expiring. So she can actually see the contracts that are expiring in next 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. She can see the overall status of the contracts that are expiring. She can click on that and she can see the drill down report, which contracts are expiring in next 90 days. This is in addition to the contract alerts that a user would see 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days before the contract expiration. And there are other things like contracts by stage, the contracts that Lisa is working on, top 7 contracts by value, because you can sort it out. You can see the contracts by type, all these things. And remember, this is a configurable dashboard. You can put any widget or any item, any report that you want to see here, and that can be different for a different user as well. So it's a highly configurable system for you. Let's say in this use case, I'm going to create a procurement contract. So if I go to vendor, I can see all the vendors in the list. If I click on InFocus Systems, let's say Lisa wants to create a contract with InFocus System. So this is the information about InFocus System as a vendor. Lisa can see all the contracts that already exist with this vendor. So she can actually do a quick look at it, or she can do a quick search to understand which all contracts are already existing with InFocus System. Let's say Lisa says, okay, you know what? I'm ready to create a contract. So she clicks on quick contract and she says, okay, creating the contract with InFocus, and I want to create a purchase agreement. Now, this contract type right now, this being a demo system, you see a long list, but if you are in your production system, you're only going to see those contract types that you are authorized to create a contract for. For each contract type, you may have multiple templates. So let's say a purchase agreement may have multiple contract templates, but in this case, I'm going to select master purchase agreement template, because at times, same contract type, but depending on different region, you may have different contract templates. Like let's say Singapore region may have a different template versus Australia region, because the jurisdictions are different. The clauses are different in that sense, although the same contract type. Once you click on that, you land on what we call it a live view page. And this is the power of contract flow. You're going to see very, very powerful user experience here. As soon as you land, the first thing that you see, there's this blinking text here. And if you click on it, and you will see Avni smart suggestions throughout the application, which will guide the user at a different stages. So in here, it says the similar contracts already exist with this vendor. And this is very powerful, because at times in a large organization, left hand doesn't know what the right hand does. So you might end up creating multiple contracts with the same vendor or same customer. So we actually do a smart search behind the scene and actually tell you that you already have this contract existing with this vendor. Do you really want to create another one? And Lisa says, you know what? Good, thank you, but I'm going to create a new contract anyways. And the other powerful thing that you're going to see is you are going to start creating the contract in real time. So this is on the right side, what we call a live view, is the template that you selected, which is the clause language that you selected for this particular contract type. As soon as I start typing here, it's going to start showing up here. So as soon as I click on it, it replaces this there and say, okay, if I can type it, procurement agreement with InFocus Systems. Okay, so immediately as soon as I type here, it immediately shows up here. Similarly, I click on here, it shows where he's going to replace this. So I'm going to say, I want to start, contract start date is 1st of May. Why this is very powerful is because now the user is not filling up the form and in front of a dumb form and realizing I don't know what the contract is coming out on the other hand, but here, as soon as he or she fills up the information, the contract is being prepared on the right side automatically. She clicks on term and she's a new user, let's say, she's a new employee to the organization. And she says, okay, this kind of procurement agreement, I don't know what's a typical term that we use. So she sees this little box here and she's okay. It's a smart insight, another smart insight that pops up and say, majority of these contracts, purchase agreement, majority of them actually are using the 2 year as a term. Then she says, okay, then that's a contracting term that you usually use. It's a safe bet that I can use the 2 years as a term. And that immediately fills up on the right side. And then you can actually fill in more information as you see fit. Being the demo system, we are only filling up 3 or 4 fields, but in real life, you're going to have around 15, 20 fields depending on the type of a contract that you want to create. And you can put as many fields as you want, and you will have those creation of this particular page and form. It's very simple, drag and drop that you can actually bring it here. And your system now ServiceNow administrator should be able to create this form for you fairly easily. You can see the contract has now moved to draft stage. The other thing that you see is, let's say I'm creating contract with InFocus, and the guy from InFocus says, how long is it going to take to create this contract? And most typically you are going to say, I don't know, anywhere from 30 days to 90 days, because it varies. But what we do is, based on the past data, we call something called cycle time prediction. We predict that how long is it going to take to complete this contract. So it says 4 days to move from draft to in review, 5 days to move from in review to in approval, and 6 days to move to in signature. So you can sum it up and say, okay, it's going to take around 25 days to finish this contract based on the past data. And that is the power of this data that we present to the user in a consumable fashion. So the Lisa can tell the InFocus system, it's going to take somewhere between 25 days to execute this contract. Now contract is created. You can have many other sections as well. You can fill in a lot more information. Let's say you have some more data for the renewal, invoice, you can put all that. You can have contract attachments, assets assigned associated with this contract, expense line items, all this you can actually attach with this contract as well. Let's say I'm ready to send it to the other party for negotiation. So I click on generate document. The contract is automatically created and attached to this contract record. So as soon as the system comes back up to me, if I go to the attachment, the new attachment is already attached here. If I click on this, you can see the 1.0 is automatically attached in a Microsoft Word format. So we have taken the field from here, taken the language here, combined that and attached that as a Microsoft Word document. Now, when I go to send, there are certain actions as a user, Lisa can take. She can send it for internal review, send for external review, send for approval, or send for signature as well. So that's something she can do. And these actions are also highly configurable. So let's say you want to put a legal review in between, you can do that. Or you have a, let's say, finance review or engineering review, in that you can put those actions here as well without writing a single line of code. That's a complete ServiceNow configuration as well. For today, I'm just going to jump on to directly send it for external review. So I'm going to click on external review. And typically what you do today is you to download the application contract, attach it to an email, and then send it to the other party. No, you're not going to do that here. You want to take each and every action from within the system. So I'm going to say I'm going to send this contract for review to Eric, and I'm going to attach this document, which is what we just created 1.0, and then type an email just like you regularly type. But alternatively, we come out of the box with a bunch of email templates, and here you say select the email template, and Lisa can edit it, or she can have her own email template as well, and then say, okay, I'm ready to send it to Eric for review. So remember, Lisa is an internal user, has created a contract and sent it to the other party for review. Now the contract has moved from draft to in review, and a substatus says external review. Let me now jump to Eric's email, and it should pop up here in a minute. That gives me a time to show you. It usually takes a minute for it, so there it is. Okay, so this is the email that Eric has received from Lisa saying that can you review this contract, and Eric is an external party, so they are not using Avenir, so he's just regularly downloading the attachment from an email and opens the Microsoft Word document. As a normal Microsoft Word user, he's going to enable the track changes and say, okay, I don't like this, so he deletes it, or he adds something here. Whatever the changes, regular Microsoft Word changes that he's doing, he's able to do that as well. Then Eric has two options. One is he can attach it to an email and send it to Lisa. The other option is, which is not present here in this demonstration, but we also offer a new small little plugin, which is a free plugin for your vendors and for your customer called Fast Send. So he will see a new button here called Fast Send. So Eric will just click on Fast Send, and the contract will be automatically packaged and sent it to our new system automatically. No email attachments, that Eric has to do, no email download that Lisa has to do on the other hand as well. It's just complete one click, and the contract is sent to the Avenir system, and it automatically gets attached to the Avenir contract management system, to that contract record. But in this example, we are assuming that Eric has sent that via email. Lisa receives that email, opens that document in Microsoft Word, just like how she does it today. So again, changing the hat here, a lot of users we are dealing with. So let's change of hat. Now I'm Lisa. Lisa has just opened this Microsoft Word document, which is redlined by Eric. But now since Lisa is the Avenir user, she sees this ribbon called Avenir CLM contract. And it's a regular Microsoft Word. The only thing addition that she sees is this Avenir CLM contract. So she can do anything. Let's say she may accept the deletion. She can add something here. Whatever else she wants to do, she can just do just like what a Microsoft Word she would like to do. In addition to that, she can actually go to the clause library, and she has direct access to the clause library from the Microsoft Word. So clause library, where you're approved, the clause is already present. So she said, you know what, you didn't like that termination clause. So I'm going to put in the EULA termination that is approved by our legal team. So she can come in and insert, and that language from the clause library automatically gets inserted here in the document. So Lisa says, you know what, I like it, I'm ready to go, and I can check in the document into ServiceNow or our new system. So at this point, remember, as you save, instead of saving on the hard drive, it actually gets saved as a new version in our new system. You can save it as a minor version or as a major version. As soon as I check in, the the system will tell me that it is saved as 1.1. Now, Lisa can go back to obviously the browser and work with that forward. Or let's say if she wants to compare revisions. So she clicks on compare revisions and she can see, in this case, version 1 and 1.1, and she can compare two versions side by side as well. For now, we are just two versions, but imagine you have 10 versions, which is what would be most typical, or 10 or more versions in the system. You have 10 versions here. You can actually select any two versions and you can compare those documents side by side as well. Other powerful tool, feature that she can have in the Microsoft Word itself is this small little thing, contract summary. She clicks on it and she immediately sees all the terms that are there from the contract. So she says, okay, where is my start date? And immediately she can jump onto that. She says, where's my vendor name? And she immediately gets jump to InFocus system here. She can see where is the name of the contract, immediately jumps in here. So all the contract terms are automatically extracted from the contract document and makes it an easily usable summary sheet for you. You can also see the clauses that's been inserted by you on top of the standard contract template that you use as well. So a lot of these powerful tools are available directly from the Microsoft Word. And that's the proprietary integration that we have built from Microsoft Word to ServiceNow. Let me go back to the system here and let me refresh the page. So Lisa would typically get an email. She clicks on it, so she anyway is going to log in. She has got a new page there. If I go back to the attachment and see that now after 1.0, the 1.1 is automatically attached when Lisa is actually checked in from Microsoft Word. Now, let's say after multiple rounds of negotiations, I'm ready for internal approvals. So Lisa is going to click on send for approval. So and as soon as she sends it for approval, the background approval engine kicks in. What are the approval metrics or the business rules that you have set up? The contract will go to that person for approval. It could be a one-step approval. It could be a five-step approval. It could be a serial approval. It could be a parallel approval as well. So as you can see, the contract has moved from in review to in approval, and it says approval pending. Now, in a very complex approval processes, Lisa wants to know where is my contract stuck, and she wants to get a visibility into that. So we have created a small little user interface here for Lisa to understand where is the process right now. So she can see, okay, the contract was sent for approval on this at this time, and it is with a person called Peter Procure for approval. So now let me jump to Peter's email. This is Peter. Yeah, this is Peter. And this is Peter has just received this approval request. So Peter can click on the link and jump onto the system. Now, if you are already using the approval process from ServiceNow, this is very similar to that, no change in that. And you can actually approve through the emails, or you can even approve through your mobile apps as well. So here in this case, Peter receives this contract for approval. He reviews this. He says, all looking good. And he says, looks good, go ahead. And he makes a comment and clicks on approve. Now the contract is approved. If I go back, as you can see, the contract is already approved. And when I refresh the page here, and I go to live flow page, you can see Peter had received it, Peter approved it at this time, and now the approval process is completed. Now, obviously, this is a one-step approval, so it's pretty straightforward. But when it's a 5-step or 7-step approval process, this becomes very informative for Lisa to understand how did her contract flow within the system. And she can actually report on this as well, that where she is spending most amount of time in her contract approval process as well. Okay, with this, now it's negotiated okay by the other party and it's internally approved as well. Now she says, okay, I'm ready to send it for signature. So Lisa clicks on submit for signature. And just like external review, she can select the right email template. So again, she can edit this or she can create her own. And since she can select which attachment she wants to send. And remember, again, this is a demo, so you see only 2 attachments. You may have number of attachments here, and you can just select the right one that you want to send it for signature, which typically will be the last version that you want to send for signature. And she clicks on send. Behind the scene, what Avni does is it integrates with DocuSign. It inserts the signature kind of flags in there and sends it to Eric for his signature. So I'm going to go back to Eric's email. This is Eric's email. So Eric has just received this email to say, please sign this document. So, and this is through DocuSign. This happens outside of our system, but with our integration with DocuSign. So this is, as you would see, when the page comes up, this is the document that was sent to the, as you can see, this clause was inserted by us. There is some text that we inserted there. So we can review everything and say, okay, everything looks same, good. And Eric can now sign the contract. And as soon as Eric finishes this, the signed contract automatically goes back to Avni's system and gets attached to the system automatically. So when when the contract went out for signature, it said in signature and pending signature. But once it is signed by Eric, the contract now moves from pending signature. It still says pending signature. Hopefully that will come back in a minute or so. And it says now says fully signed. The contract is now fully signed. Now in this case, again, being a demo, we are having just a 1-step signature. Typically, you may have a 2-step because both parties will have to sign. So you go through 2 steps of signature and the contract will be fully signed. After that, when you come back to the attachments, you can actually see that 2.0 is already attached automatically, and this is the signed copy of the contract. So let's take a look at that, how the signed copy looks like. This is automatically attached to your contract record for your future reference. So click on it. This is the contract that was signed with Eric's signature in there. So with that, your contract is ready. So it's fully signed, and your 2 options, either to auto activate the contract, or you can keep the power in with you to click on activate the contract, and it will activate the contract after sending the reference document back to those guys for their reference as well. And now contract is activated and now moves from in signature to active and in effect. As you can see, as soon as the contract is activated, the contract is locked. You cannot change the contract because you don't want anybody to muck with the signed contract. And all the actions are also taken away from the user. All you can do is you can renew a contract, you can amend a contract, or you can terminate a contract. And that's where the rest of the contract lifecycle continues. So that is what I wanted to go over as far as the product demonstration is concerned today. There are a lot of other things to cover like the request of flow. How would a normal employee request for a contract? How will contract manager and the requester do back and forth for more information, or a third party paper or a live feed? How do you collaborate within your employees in a chat system? All these things, a lot of other things that we need to cover